Olivia was waiting for her teacher to arrive. She thought, boring, boring.
Boring, boring.
Why would this year be any different from last year?
Why would this year be any different from last year?
Then the door swung open. Principal Rittenrotten said, boys and girls,
Boys and girls,
please give your new teacher a warm welcome.
please give your new teacher a warm welcome.
This is Miss Smith.
This is Miss Smith.
Olivia's new teacher walked in, and she said, good morning, class.
Good morning, class.
My name is Miss Smith,
My name is Miss Smith.
and I'm your new teacher.
And I'm your new teacher.
Olivia leaned over to Bree and said, Miss Smith seems very different from our other teachers.
Miss Smith seems very different from her.
And Bree whispered back, I know.
I know.
I hope she doesn't give too much homework.
I hope she doesn't give too much homework.
But the day went along like every other school day Olivia could remember until Miss Smith said, it's story time.
It's story time.
She sat at her desk and started to read from the book she had brought with her. Olivia and the rest of the class couldn't believe their eyes. The storybook characters came to life, and the classroom was swept up in a swashbuckling pirate tale. A pirate captain swooshed up from the back of the room, jumped up onto Miss Smith's desk, and shouted, Shiver me timbers!
Shiver me timbers.
Avast ye landlubbers!
Avast ye landlubbers.
Land ho!
Land ho!
All hands on deck!
All hands on deck.
Olivia and the rest of the class were right in the middle of the story. They could feel the breeze in their hair, and the students gently rocked in their desks as the waves pounded the side of the ship until the story was over. That day, the students went home amazed. From then on, Olivia and her classmates could not wait to go to school. Every day, there was a new story to look forward to. Miss Smith opened up her book and she read out loud. The wolf jumped out of the bushes
The wolf jumped out of the bushes
and startled Little Red Riding Hood.
startled Little Red Riding Hood.
A wolf actually jumped out of the bushes, and a little girl in a red cloak stood up and gasped in fright. She said, I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
The wolf said, I was only curious about your basket.
I was only curious about your basket.
When Miss Smith finished reading, all the characters in adventure whooped back into the book. Oh, that day, the students left the classroom excited to see what the next day was going to bring.
I know. It's marvelous. I know.
On Friday, the students arrived to find Principal Rittenrotten standing in front of the classroom instead of Miss Smith. Principal Rittenrotten said, Miss Smith is stuck in traffic,
Miss Smith is stuck in traffic.
so she asked me to read to you until she arrives.
So she asked me to read to you until she arrives.
Principal Rittenrotten sat down to Miss Smith's desk, and Olivia said out loud, what's going to happen next?
What's going to happen next?
Principal Rittenrotten started to read, and Olivia grinned when a princess leaped out of the book. And she was followed closely by a brave dragon and a knight. And the dragon roared. The princess said, oh, please help me.
Oh, please help me.
The dragon chased her to the other side of the room, and he said, get back here or I'll turn you to toast.
Get back here. I'll turn you to toast.
The knight followed the dragon, saying, never fear, I'll save you. The dragon turned to the knight, and the knight drew his sword, and the dragon roared at the Principal Rittenrotten was so surprised that all he could do was scream and throw the book up in fright, and he said, "I'm going for help."
Oh, I'm going for help.
Before Olivia could think of anything else to do, Sue Ann pounced on that storybook, but she did not finish the dragon story. She started reading another one instead, and she said aloud, "Once upon a time there were 3 bears,
Once upon a time, there were 3 bears.
and they went out for a walk.
And they went out for a walk.
The princess, the dragon, and the knight did not return to the book, but Goldilocks climbed out, and she said, "Hello, is anyone home?"
Hello, is anyone home?
Emma jumped out of her seat, and she tried to yank the book away from Sue Ann, and when Sue Ann let go, the book flew across the room. And Taylor and Emma started to read from a brand new story. She said, "The Cheshire Cat grinned
The Cheshire Cat grinned
as he directed Alice to the tea party."
as he directed Alice to the tea party.
Olivia shook her head in amazement when Alice jumped out. And she said, "Wow." Olivia couldn't believe all the characters that were in her classroom, and Alice came out, and Alice said, "Wow,
Wow.
a cat that smiles?
A cat that smiles?
This place grows curiouser and curiouser."
This place grows curiouser and curiouser.
As the book passed around the room, one character after another flew out of the pages. Olivia ran and grabbed the book from Emma, and she ruffled through those pages. And she said, "Oh, I've got one."
Oh, I've got one.
The friends finally made it to Emerald City.
The friends finally made it to Emerald City.
And the next thing Olivia knew, Dorothy came out. And Dorothy said, "If the wizard is a wizard,
If a wizard is a wizard,
he's got to get me back to Kansas."
he's got to get me back to Kansas.
Olivia said to herself, "This is trouble."
This is trouble.
The chaos was beginning to spill out in the hall. All the characters were talking at once and moving all around the room. Olivia jumped up on Miss Smith's desk and she said, "We've got to finish the stories."
We got to finish the stories.
But no one was listening. Miss Smith brought her car to a screeching stop in front of the school. She said to herself, "Oh no,
Oh no.
there seems to be a problem."
There seems to be a problem.
And she raced inside. Meanwhile, Olivia was still standing on Miss Smith's desk and she said, "We have to finish the story."